Hey guys, I just wanted to reach out to you and let you know that Surewinder is still selling amazing products. Some of you guys have been dragging your feet for whatever reason. If your shoulder hurts, do not waste time. Pull the trigger. I just bought 4 or 5 of them, and we had 2 guys out. You know how much it cost me to pay for 2 guys being out with bad shoulders? We just pulled the trigger and we said, listen, everybody's going to have one on a truck. It's mandatory. You got to use it. Don't hesitate. Don't wait till your guys go down. It's going to cost you more. Buy a Surewinder.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another beautiful week of Torsion Talk podcast. I got some exciting stuff to chat about today. We'll kick it off with a few announcements. I leave tomorrow morning to go to an AI mastermind group that I'm a part of. Super excited about that. This group is way more advanced. Like, they're building things, we're building things that a lot of people are just kind of talking about or not talking about because they're not that far ahead yet. So many people are focused on prompts and agents. Not many people are like focused on building products, and that's what this group is about. Is actually like creation that AI can work within. So really cool and exciting stuff that I know that they're going to be announcing there. And I'm going to probably share some of that stuff with you. I might record a podcast while I'm out there because I'm gone all next week. Speaking of which, so I leave Phoenix Monday morning and fly to Fort Lauderdale for an intensive with Josef Roberts, 3 days with some amazing business owners. We're going to be breaking down finances, building a plan and strategy for 2026. So that's really exciting. Super pumped about that. Then when I get back, I'm launching Field Pulse into air and overhead doors, which has been a little bit of a bog for me just because I've had to be like head down in it constantly. And then I get working in something and then I got to back up and change the way I do it. But one of the things that was probably like a lifesaver on that is I took all their help docs, scraped it, made it a custom GPT. And now I have a 24-hour agent that can answer any questions I have about how their software works, which is pretty cool. Markinuity's hired a few people, so we freed up some capacity. And if you're in the market for a new website or some marketing, please reach out to us. We've got to fill some hours, and we need a couple new clients for websites and marketing. If you're interested, hit me up. I'll get you on the books. You and I can sit down and have a 15, 20-minute conversation about your needs, see if it's a good fit. And if it is, we'll give you a proposal and we can move forward. GDU also has room for 3 new members between 1 and 3 million in revenue. So if you're between 1 and 3 million in revenue and you don't have everything figured out, this is the group for you. Also hit me up. I'll definitely chat with you about that and we'll get you in the group. You can normally sit in on one free class and see how you like it. So let me know what your thoughts are on that. So before I go like too crazy into this, I want to just share, I'm going to share some notes in an SEO conference that I went to. But before I get into the SEO portion, I just want to say, someone posted something on Facebook about how nasty marketing companies have gotten when you try to leave them. And he's not wrong. I'm going to tell you that probably 80% of the marketing agencies where people leave them to come to us, there's some sort of evidence of them trying to sabotage. It is bad. It's really, really, really bad. It's not right. And, I just want to say, with Markinuity, we're white glove in, white glove out. We want you to be successful. We don't care if you're with us or not. We would love for you to be with us. But our heart is for you to win. And to sabotage you on the way out goes against everything we believe in. And I think that other companies, I get it if it's in the middle of a contract term, because if you're a marketing agency, you're very dependent on that recurring revenue because we don't focus as much on new business. So losing that can be like really hurtful. It can hurt bad. Um, but you got to keep it separate, right? And I think that's where you just got to look internally and say, hey, what's the cause of these issues? Like, why are people canceling in the first place? Like, you got to look at yourself first, and then you got to try to make those corrections and then work from there. So, anyway, long story short, be careful who you guys sign up with because there's some nasty, nasty, nasty home service related companies. They'll try to talk you and saying like, they got proprietary software in their website, and if you leave them, you can't have it. Like, you shouldn't be paying somebody for a website and then you can't take it with you somewhere. They have to have it forever. Like, that's just not okay, I don't think. But if you make the bad decision to sign up with them and you're stuck in that, then that's that. But I genuinely believe that, um, there's a whole controversy about WordPress and whatever. I won't go on too long of a tangent, but I'll just say be careful. Find out, make sure that you keep your domain, you keep your website, you keep the content created, all that stuff, all the metadata, all the code, everything. You should be able to take all that with you. Um, it doesn't matter. Like, if you paid for that, that's yours, unless there's a lease agreement. If you sign a lease agreement where it's not yours and you're just kind of leasing it, that's very different. So make sure what you're getting into. All right. I went to an SEO conference a couple weeks ago, and I want to share some of my takeaways that I learned. I think so. I'm going to start with some of the highlights and just kind of deep dive into some of these things. If you're interested in SEO at all, this will be a good podcast for you. We're going to discuss some of the changes and things that are important that you need to be focused on. And we're making changes in our agency to adopt or adapt to some of these things as well. And it's getting more and more complicated. So, working with your SEO company or agency is important. So, if you are currently have an agency, you need to know some of these things so that you can hold them accountable and hold us accountable if you use us. So, let's dive in. The very first thing I want to talk to you guys about is Reddit. Couple things that were brought up. Obviously, Google bought Reddit. Google's ranking Reddit really high, like really, really high. And the followers, the usage, the engagement on there is crazy. And it is a cutthroat world in Reddit, by the way. So like, you can't just go on Reddit and start advertising your business in threads. Reddit is a very different platform. And the fact that like most of them hate advertising in general. So I'm not even sure that like advertising on Reddit would be good, but it could be because if you run an ad and you get a link, mm, I'm thinking it could help. So we're about to test that and I'll let you know. Some of the things that were brought up about Reddit that I thought were really cool were one, there's this little trick with Reddit that if there's a thread um, that the owner has abandoned for like 6 months and you have enough like clout or upvotes, then you can request from the Reddit team to take over that thread. So that's important because then you set the rules and now it's all you. You can do and say what you want. You can drop links. You can let other people do links, whatever. And links from Reddit are money. So I would just take that into consideration that Reddit is really popular. A lot of people are having conversations on there. There's a massive amount of chatter about home services between homeowners, even garage door business owners, garage door technicians, installers. So lots of conversations being had on Reddit about home services, HVAC, you name it. It's all there. So check it out. Get involved in the conversation. Spend a couple months just engaging on the platform, and then maybe find ways to try to get your link in there. Um, if you build a good reputation where you're not really spammy, and it doesn't take much to get spammy or feel spammy in Reddit, like capitalism's not usually embraced in Reddit. So if you're in there and your goal is to grow your audience and links and you know get indexed on those things, it's going to be obvious if you go into it with that being the goal. So what I would tell you is start with just going in and answering some questions, engaging. Don't be combative, although there's a lot of combative people on Reddit. Just try to be friendly, answer some questions, engage, give upvotes, things like that. So Reddit's huge, big deal. Number two, um, use stories on your website. I'm not sure if you guys have ever been to my garage door company's website. So Aaron Overhead Doors, which we just did a refresh on, and it's not a secret of my staff anymore, but we did a rebrand, and I'm going to be revealing it to them here shortly, and we're going to rebrand our whole website, and it's going to be really fun. But long story short, um, I did something years ago that I had a hunch about, and it's worked out really well. If you go to my resources and gallery and you scroll down, you'll see a couple different selections here. It looks like one of my videos. Sorry about that if that was super loud, if you heard it. But we're doing some tests right now with a few the most recent projects. But basically, what we'll do is we'll take photography of the project, right? Whether it's professional or whatever, and then we'll write, like for example, this one, Clope Canyon Ridge and Glass Garage Doors, Monroe, Georgia. So obviously, probably not gonna be like crazy with this, but if you're in Monroe, Georgia, and you're searching for garage doors, like there's another company in Monroe that literally optimizes for glass garage doors, and he's number one, but he's there, and then I'm number two. So I'm also number four. And this is helpful because we optimize this page, but we tell a story. This is the point, my what I'm trying to say. So we talk a little bit about the project challenges, how we overcame them, what we used. Um, we do some internal linking on here. We talk about manufacturers, garage door opener details. So we're basically explaining a story, and then we link to the manufacturers. I'm thinking about putting pricing on here too, because I think that would be super helpful. But long story short, if I just get one backlink to this page will be number one for any type of search for Canyon Ridge, Clope, glass garage doors, Armor Light, probably even the Genie operator that we put in there. Hey guys, I found something that changed my business and I want to share it with you. We've created packages that have included some of the best products in our industry to offer our service customers. The heart of that package is Stealth Hardware Kit. Stealth Hardware is the quietest hinges on the market. I challenge you to buy at least one of these, test it for yourself. Put it on your truck and design a quiet performance package for your customers willing to pay for a better, smoother running door. Buy your Stealth Hardware Kit at Service Spring, do a search for quiet hinge, and then buy that. You can buy a double or single door, 7 or 8 foot tall, and promise you, it'll change your service forever.
Somer USA and Somer Group want to thank you for an incredible year and the trust you've put in them and their products. As you know, Somer places high value on relationships, education, customer service, innovation, and professionalism. And they are grateful to you for your part in the fostering and dissemination of these values. If there is any way Somer can support you in your journey, whether through their products, the values they hold to, or the knowledge Somer has gained through interaction with door dealers across the world, please reach out to the team at your convenience. They are here to serve you. Again, thank you from the entire Somer team. Check them out at somerusa.com. Tell them Ryan sent you.
So beautiful pictures that expand. We did 3 Canyon Ridges and a full view glass door, and that was a fun job. But being able to talk about it in the details, I think is great. So long story short, we talked a lot while we were at this conference about telling stories. And what we're noticing is that stories are doing better online. Now, stories used to do really well. These pages would outrank a lot of home pages when people were searching for new doors. It was happening so much so that these pages were ranking all over the country. Some of my listeners here on Torch Talk Podcast would even send me screenshots and of their customers, like saying, "Hey, this is the door I want," and it would be a photo from our gallery, and it would be a description. And then we would also get phone calls from all over the country from consumers who were wanting this. Now, these are all optimized locally. Schema data, everything was optimized locally. But I think because we did such a good job with telling a story and adding photos, and not a lot of other people did that, we ranked number 1 for a lot of like searches when it came to product related things. And so it got to a point where it was like destructive because we were getting so many phone calls all over the country that it was making it difficult for us to serve our local customers. So we backed off of it a little bit. And then Google changed their algorithm and it kind of corrected itself a little bit. And almost to the point where even my pages weren't ranking as well here locally. Well, recently we've seen this pick back up. And this was a conversation that we had at this conference. So I think it's really important that we all do a really good job of like creating content that tells stories because stories are picking up. You can tell customer stories, you can tell product stories like I just explained. But long story short, I think this is the play. All right, let's talk about the next thing that I think is super powerful. I've been preaching it on here. We're about to roll out our new website with this. We've put this on one of our pages already, and um, we're kind of seeing how this does. Like, I'm very curious to see um, the response from this particular page. So we're working on putting pricing on our website. We're going to do it for service. We're going to do it for new doors. And I genuinely believe that this is the way. I think I've told this story before, but I want to tell it again. You know, back when I was in automotive in very early years, 19, 20 years old, we're talking like 25 years ago, right? I was part of like a forum group where we all used to chat and do similar things the way we all do things now on Facebook. But Facebook wasn't around, so we used forums similar to Reddit. So there was one guy in Ohio who was kind of an innovator, and he said that he put prices on his website, and we all called him crazy. We also thought he was going to ruin the auto industry because some of the benefits of not putting prices on there were nobody knew where to start, and when you gave them a price, it was kind of like it is what it is. So what happened though, and if you go to most automotive websites, is they have prices on cars now. And he started this. I think it was Wilder. I think is his name, Jeff Wilder. It's been a long time, but I was so impressed by his willingness to try that, and I thought that was super innovative because what he ended up telling us was he doubled his leads. And we always thought that price was the hook for the lead. But then we would get upset and frustrated that the lead quality was no good. So when he put prices on his automobiles, his cars, trucks, whatever, um, he had higher quality leads and he had more of them. It built trust, which I thought was really cool. Now, it's been said for years that pricing on your service pages, your product pages, help them rank better. And I agree. Like we've seen this with other industries. We just have a hard time getting garage door companies to do this. Now you can use ranges. There's different things. It doesn't have to be like a set price, but I think that just putting prices on your website are going to be, let's just put it this way. I think if you don't have pricing on your website within the next probably year, your website might be irrelevant. And the reason why I say that is because Google's algorithms really loving it. And then it's going to be super helpful for AI to gather information and make it easy. So for that reason, I think it's going to be really good because think about AI right now and the way it has to work. So I think I mentioned last week that Google's offering a feature that allows you to call, like, has AI call multiple businesses inquiring about the price of services. And I talked about how I didn't like it because, or maybe I did this in another video. I didn't like it because then it just kind of makes it all about pricing. So, long story short, yes, that is the case. But what if it didn't have to call? What if instead of it saying, "Hey, do you want me to check the prices on this?" At the top, it said, "Hey, I found prices for this from a very reputable local company called Aaron Overhead Doors. Would you like me to connect you with them?" That is the difference, guys. I need you guys to see this because I want my followers of Torch and Talk podcast to win. And I don't think you're going to win without having a website that provides information to AI to help them make a decision so they don't have to take action to gather more information. All right. Okay. Um, Something else that's changed in a big way is volume of content on a page used to be, 16, 1800 words was like the average for number one ranking pages. That's no longer the case. We're seeing pages with much less content, but more helpful win. So you don't need it. You don't need a ton of content. As a matter of fact, I would venture to say that content is important. It's extremely important, but you can have less content that's better with some backlinks and you'll win in a big way. So we've been shifting our strategy for a couple years on that, and we continue to adjust that as things happen. All right. Another issue that I see a lot on garage door website pages is our home service in general. You don't know what to say, so you basically describe how everything works for the sake of SEO. Like, the garage door springs, um, balance the door, and goes into all this explanation about all this stuff, and it's like a garage door spring repair page. I feel like that's kind of a waste. Um, and I would probably get away from that. What you need is really good content. I also think that the old gap content method doesn't work anymore. So if you're in SEMrush or you're in Ahrefs, it was kind of unanimous amongst all of the marketers. They all agreed that that kind of wasn't really the thing anymore. Um, Ahrefs has come out with an AI content helper. It's been super helpful for us. I think I posted a screenshot of mine, and we're getting a lot of traffic from AI right now, and really excited about that. Um, okay, do not use AI images on your website. So we had a guy do a presentation who showed a drop off of traffic, and it was steep, steep drop off of traffic from adding AI images to a website. So I used to dog like a lot of guys. Please hear me when I say this. Like I've been hard and fast, and everyone who signed up with us here at Markinuity knows that I hate stock images. It is basically the same thing. AI stock images. Google doesn't like it. They don't want it. Stop using stock images. Get professional photos. It means a huge difference. There was a lot of talk about photos, original photos, authentic photos, and I'll give you a little hack too. Here's a little hack that I think you should know about. You can overlay photos with transparent text and upload those to Google Business Profile and your website, and you'll get some love for it. That's my tip. If you stay on the podcast long enough to see that or hear that, congratulations. Other things that we're seeing that work really well are infographics. This was something that Joy pointed out, and I've got some ideas for some infographics, but using infographics on your website apparently does very well. The number two thing that did very well, and this is no secret, I've been preaching this for freaking 10, 15 years. Put pictures of people on your website. We need action photos of guys stacking sections and, installing doors and openers and winding springs. And like, people love that. It builds so much trust. Please, please, please take pictures of people doing work, not just headshots, and put those throughout your website. Another thing that we learned, the word honest on websites works. So, for example, if you put you have a page called Air and Overhead Door Reviews, right? Because you want it to rank and you want to be part of that conversation when people are doing their research. And if you put Air and Overhead Door Reviews at the top, um, you'll outrank just about everybody. So for whatever reason, honest seems to be something that gets picked up by AI, and Google tends to love it. So use the word honest. Add honest to your title tags. Um, One person said that they did it and saw a huge increase in clicks as well. It's one thing to kind of trick the algorithm and get number one ranking, but to get that number one ranking and also get the clicks, I think is huge. So definitely do that. Um, a bunch of Reddit stuff, some more Reddit stuff. Um, I think I'm going to wrap it up with this and just tell you guys the landscape is changing so fast. I'm seeing a lot of businesses who have not put in the work to build a relationship and get the things over to their marketing agencies complaining a lot. Like, we're getting them from other companies, and I can tell some of them are trying to inquire about coming here. You're going to get the same results in a lot of cases because you're not willing to work with your SEO company on making it great. There's things that have to happen in order for SEO to work. And some of those things require your approval, some additional spend, and some work on your end. I don't think SEO is a transactional thing. So I would want to just set the stage. I think it's really important that we pay attention to our reports and our relationship with our marketing agencies. I can tell you firsthand, like, we spend a lot of time reaching out and not a lot of people want to talk. And I feel like if you hire a marketing agency, you should have regular conversations with them. It's so important. So I'll close with this because my call to action to you is reach out to your marketing agency, ask what you can do to make things better. And if you haven't gotten them new, fresh photos of people in action, start there and surprise them. But don't ignore them. Work as a team with your agency. That's what they're there for. And SEO is changing super fast. And if you're not on top of it, not that you need to be doing it, but just asking them what they're doing, how they're adjusting, how are they tracking these AI things, the AI traffic, and all that. These are all things we need to be having conversations about. And then on the flip side of that, there's certain things that you need to be doing as well. We talked about the Better Business Bureau is back. You need to be working really hard to get all the local awards and get accredited with IDEA, get certified with IDEA. It may even be worth it to join the IDA and put that information on your website. There you go. That's it. Just reach out. Let's have conversations with our agencies and help each other out be successful because y'all both want the same thing. I hope you have a wonderful day. Be blessed. Take care.